Today we'll be talking with the founder of Zoe's Cookies and Other Delights, named Richmond Business of the Year in 2012. Today they employ 22 people, operate an 8,100 square foot facility, and sell over 80,000 cookies, brownies, and fruit bars a week. But it wasn't always this way. Here to share with us what she has learned along the way is Zoe Smith.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
So early on, you started out, you didn't have a business background, but you started baking cookies. How did you know how to bake?
I started learning about bakeries when I was around 4 years old. My mother was a single mom for quite some time, had 3 children to take care of, and she worked in a bakery in Tempe, Arizona called the Vienna Bakery. Before I started nursery school and kindergarten, I was there all day long. And then when I did start school, I'd come there after school. And that's where I spent all my away from home hours in this old Vienna bakery. So when I was looking for a way to take care of my daughter and not have to go back to my old job, it was a natural thing for me to just go, oh, I'll just sell cookies. So I started baking products at my house and selling at the Ashby Flea Market in Berkeley. And I didn't know anything about health department regulations. I just knew I needed to make some money. And so I was kicked out of the Berkeley Flea Market because I didn't have a health permit and I didn't know I was supposed to have one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was my first learning experience. So I called the health department to get my health permit, and then I found out that I wasn't allowed to bake at home and sell to the public.
And so you at that point you said, okay, I've got to change.
Yeah, it took me a little while to figure out how to do it. What I ended up doing was I started renting space from other bakeries in the area. The first place I rented was a little tiny cookie shop in Albany called Tough Cookie. And from there I went to Black Muslin Bakery. So Black Muslin Bakery, I stayed there for a couple of years. I went from having 1 part-time employee to when I left I had, I think, 5 part-time employees. So I found a place over on Marina Way South, and right off of Cutting Boulevard. We started off with just 5,300 square feet, took on a little bit extra, the 8,100 now, and this summer we'll be adding another 2,500.
So you've always been in the wholesale business.
Yes.
And what made you decide to go that route rather than have a cookie shop?
Well, I think what made me decide to go that route is that's how I started in my house, right? I can't sell cookies out of my house.
Right.
And so I just continued along that road. I thought about a retail shop for a while. The reason I decided not to go there is the rents are very high. A shop like that is dependent on foot traffic. Because I started out learning the business through wholesale, I just continued on with that.
Okay. It just was a natural thing.
Yeah, it felt natural to me. I felt like I had more control because customers were my responsibility to find. And so I could go out and find my customers rather than waiting for them to find me.
So how have your goals changed over the years? You know, when you first started out, what were you expecting of your company? What were you saying, wow, if I could make it, I'd do this? And then...
My goal was to retire at the age of 50.
Okay.
I missed it by many years. I'm not going to tell you how many.
Okay. But you started off with the vision of building a big cookie business.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. I truly believe that had I been better capitalized, and had some sort of business education in addition to my art, I could have hired people who knew more than I did, who could have helped grow the business more quickly. In that case, I may have been retired by now.
I see.
Okay.
Right.
But I was always undercapitalized. I couldn't hire those people, and I didn't know how to do it the way those people would have known how to do it. And so that's what has delayed my dream. Right. And so if I could give any specific piece of advice to young entrepreneurs, it is to somehow be well capitalized and hire the right people. You might not make much money. You might have to pay them more than you're making yourself. But eventually that's going to flip around and they'll be well worth what you've paid them.
So thanks for being here and telling us a little bit about your story.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure, and I had a great time talking with you.
Terrific. And if you're interested in hearing more about Zoe's story, check the link below for the in-depth interview.